All right, here we go. Lesson 4. Let's do this. First thing, let's get rid of this cube. And then let's put a plane in. And, what? Shift A, let's put a plane. And S, let's resize it. And then up here somewhere, let's put a ball or a sphere. And yeah, it's about in the middle. All right, let's play that. What happens? Oh, it's not Blender game, so we got to change this to Blender game. Let's play it. All right, nothing happens because it's static. Let's change our physics to our ball. I'm going to make my ball a little bit bigger. Not too much. Let's change our physics to that ball. Let's change that to rigid body. And it is an actor. Now let's see what happens. It should fall. Boom. There we go. Can't move. Now let's give this motion. Before you just gave it motion just by its physics. But now let's do motion if we give it some sort of a command by the keyboard. So let's come down. Let's change. I'm going to give myself some room here. And scroll out so we can see. And this is the timeline. We don't want the timeline. We want the logic editor. Okay, I'm going to organize this so I can see more. And I'm going to add a sensor on keyboard. And in the keyboard, I'm just going to press my up key, my up arrow. Okay, and I'm going to add an and controller. And I'm going to add a motion sensor, actuator I mean, and let's connect them. So on up, I want this to do a force along the x-axis of, let's say, -1. And I'm going to hit enter. So -1, it's going to give it some force along this axis. Notice I moved it so the actual up location will be pointing, going that way, or in this view, north. Okay, let's hit play. It's going to fall. And now I hit my up key. All right, and it goes a little bit slow. That ball's big and heavy. Let's just give it a negative. There's many settings that you can use. Let's give it a negative, I don't know, 5. Okay, play. Oh, I got to put my mouse in my 3D view to play it. And I hit up. All right. Okay. What happens, though, if... Let's go back to 0. What happens if I give it a rotation? Will it still go up? It's going to rotate, but will it still go that way? So I'm going to give it a -5 on the rotation. Let's see. I'm going to move this a little bit further this way. Okay. And I'm going to make my plane a little bit bigger. Okay. Now let's see what happens if I do a -5 rotation, which should rotate it upwards or north. Play. And I hit up. Oh, okay. So you can see how the difference is. Did you notice when it landed? When it landed, it sort of tilted one way. See, it kind of rolls back on itself. Okay, so now my north isn't necessarily the true north where we started, or the true X. Now it's angled a little bit. So when I hit my up arrow, it's not really going anywhere. Okay, so you can see all the let's change this to local coordinates. Right now it is local. Let's change it to world. Let's see what kind of changes that will do to it. Rolls on itself. I hit up. Okay. We don't want that for what we're doing here, but you can see the different settings that may happen depending upon if you choose force, rotation, or location. I'm going to change that back to 0. Let's do location -5. I think now what's going to happen is it's going to slide. Ooh, it jumps. Ooh, let's go back. -1. Play. And yep, it slides. But you notice I still have that local force, this world force applied to the rotation. Let's take that off. It should land, and it rotates a tad bit. And now I hit up, and it's just going to slide. Okay? For what we're doing here, you can choose either location or force. All right? But you have to, I haven't really defined this yet. I'm going to show you in a bit the difference between what happens with local and the world coordinates, the force. Okay? We have all local right now, so what's going to happen when I hit play is it rolls back on itself, which is fine for now. Okay? What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do regular force at -5, -5, and then let's see if that works first. Okay, it works. But it's coming back. Why is it coming back? Okay, that's because I think I want to change that world. Okay, I want to grab this back, and I want to take this local force off. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now let's go add another. I'm just going to hit this little arrow to collapse. It doesn't get rid of it. It just collapses it. And I'm going to collapse this. And I'm going to add another sensor. And I'm going to add another actuator, motion, and add another and controller. And let's connect those. And now I'm going to do my down arrow. And I'm going to do a 5. So it should come this way or south when I hit my down arrow. I hit play, rolled back on itself. I click down, click up, click down. Ooh, but when I click down, it keeps going up. That's because I need to change this one. Remember when we were in here, I took this local force off. What that is, I'm going to take it off of this one. So now let's hit play. We go down, up, down, up. You see how it reacts immediately in the direction that I'm. So there's my key, there's my down, there's my up, there's my down. All right? When you take this off, and when you give it a local force or local coordinates, what that does kind of there's an extra gravity force pulling it. So I just took that off, put it on local, and I hit play, and I click up. I'm clicking up. Now I'm clicking down. I'm clicking down. I'm clicking. See, and it doesn't react like you want to because it's got that local force, which is a gravity, not just pulling it down, pulling it in another direction. So you got to make sure that you put these to world. All right, because that's the biggest thing that people get wrong on this assignment is they don't change that local force, and then I'll be hitting the down arrow, and it'll actually stay going up. I'll click up and it'll go up, but because that force is there, when I hit down, it'll keep going up further. Okay? So you gotta pay attention to this right here. So this reacts the way I want it to right now. When I go up, it goes up. When I go down, it's down. Okay? And there we go. So what I want you to do is put this ball in, and you have you're going to have 4 different directions. So how I'm going to grade this, I'm just going to play your game, and I'm going to push up, I'm going to push down, push left and right. And I need to be able to move your ball in all 4 directions. So if you've already added these 2, you're good to go. Now you need to add 2 more, left and right keypad, and ASD or AWSD, whatever keyboards. Don't use that for right now. Use the arrows in your own game. You can change those later, okay? For this particular assignment, I want you to use the up arrows or the 4 arrows, okay? And remember to call it lesson 4, all lowercase, and then your name in caps. Have fun.